welcome to episode 41 of the Craft House Magic podcast. My name's Ellie and I'm coming to you from Norwich in Norfolk, and today's the 31st of May. So I hope you've had a lovely crafty couple of weeks. That's the last time I spoke to you, and I've got a few things I'd like to share with you, so I hope you enjoy seeing that. But first, I just want to talk about sort of craft-alongs. So the first one is the Christmas craft-along, which is going all the way up to the end of November so that we get all our Christmassy things done before the end of November. Ready for Christmas so we can put our feet up. So it can be anything to do with gift making or just generally Christmas related things that you want to get done for Christmas. Don't forget that it's not just finished objects. You can put in discussions about what you're thinking you might make, or some things that you've made part way through, and it'd be interesting to see how you're getting on. So come and join us in the Ravelry group, and at the end of every month I draw a couple of winners and for prizes. So this time there's two prizes and they're both pattern prizes. One was donated to us by the lovely Jen Sheelan, and it's a pattern that she's written for a beautiful shawl, and the shawl is called Bride by the Sea, and I'll pop a picture up here. And the other prize is donated to us by the lovely Naomi Buchanan, and it's the Only Way Is Up cowl, and I'll pop another picture. So those two lovely prizes, I will draw them on Monday, and I will actually post the winners in the Ravelry group if you want to pop over to there if you have been entering already. So don't forget about that. And we have something very exciting. So lovely Kelly Lay and I, so Kelly Lay is the owner of Lay Family Yarns, and she's a beautiful yarn dyer. And we've decided to do another collaboration. So we've got the theme of button jar this time. So we've been making some beautiful yarn. Well, Kelly's dyed some beautiful yarn. Isn't that lovely? That's absolutely gorgeous. And this yarn is going to come with a mauve mini that matches all in. And I will pop a picture here because Kelly's already knitted some beautiful socks in this colourway, so you can see what it looks like. So there we go. So the yarn, I'm going to make some bags to go with it. So this is the bag that I've made. This is my prototype. So you can see I've already popped my badges on there. So this is a little button jar with some buttons hand sewn on there, and free motion applique around the outside with some beautiful Liberty fabric in there. And then the back of the bag, I've got free motion, Craft House Magic and a little button. And then you can see that I've already adorned it with lots of lovely buttons that I've picked up. Oh, isn't that lovely? Or pin badges, I should say. I've got buttons on the brain. So I've put a pocket on the back of the bag. That means that these pin badges, the backs of the pin badges, don't touch your work. But because this is a prototype, I've actually done pink or mauve lining on the rest of the bag. I will show you the proper bag next week before it's released. So the release date for the yarn and the bag is going to be the 15th of June, and we are going to publish them at 10 o'clock. That's 10 o'clock British summertime, and some bags and yarn kits are going to be put in my shop, and some kits are going to be put in Kelly's shop. I shall pop a link in the down bar below to Kelly's shop in case you haven't followed her already on Etsy, and as per usual I'll put the link to my Etsy shop in the down bar as well, so if you're interested. So that's all very exciting. I was going to cast my yarn on straight away that Kelly sent me, but I thought it might be really nice if we did a knit along together. So it's a sock set, but you don't have to knit socks with it. You can knit something else, like a small shawl, because you've got a little mini there as well. But we're going to do another knit along in the Ravelry group to do with the button jar kit. So that'll be open the day after the sets are going to go on the Etsy shop, so that'll be the 16th of June, and that'll be open for 2 months so that everyone can share what they're knitting with the lovely kit. So thank you so much for listening to my rambling on about the kit, but now I better get on to the good stuff. So first of all, we're going to start with knitting. Now you wouldn't believe it, but I've only been working on 2 projects. It was almost only 1 project. I will show you that second. But first of all, I've got an almost finished object. It isn't quite finished, but I've been working on my dragon's wing cowl, and this pattern is by, let me look at my notes, Jessie Rayott, and so I've actually not blocked this yet or put any buttons on it. So this is the panel just finished when I've knitted it. What I want to do is block it out and pull these points out a little bit so it's more sort of dragon-like, if you know what I mean. And this is supposed to go round the neck. See if I can show it. Like this, so that it sort of splays all out. There we go. But this will look better, I think, if I block it out slightly. But I will pop a picture up here, what it's supposed to look like. But I'm quite pleased with it so far. This yarn is the Moonshine yarn from Juniper Moon Farm, and it's a wool, alpaca and silk. And I ran out of that yarn, so I had to use some other scrap yarn that I had in my stash, but it comes up pretty much the same colour. And it is the same weight, so that's okay. And this is a merino silk mix, I think. I can't actually remember what it is. Sorry guys, I haven't written it down. I did show you on the podcast last week, so some of you might have remembered what it is. But there we go. So that's one almost finished object. I have actually ordered some lovely buttons online, which we're going to, it's like a brown sort of tooth shape of button. I think will go really nicely with that, so hopefully I'll have that finished by the next episode. So there we go. Isn't that cool though? So what I did here is I actually dropped 3 stitches at each point where there's these sort of, I don't know what to call them really. They kind of look like cables, but they're not. So I've dropped 3 stitches all the way down here, and then at the bottom, because I did the long tail cast on, those 3 stitches are completely opened up, so you end up with threads all the way across, all the way up like a ladder. And then to make this effect here, you basically get 4 threads from the bottom, twist them round into a loop, and then start pulling through 4 threads each time using a crochet hook to make this kind of loopy effect. And I absolutely love that effect. It wasn't as hard as you may think it was. The dropping stitches, it really isn't as bad as you think. Don't worry. And this picking them up is so therapeutic, and it's made me think that I need to get my crochet project out again. I haven't done any crochet for ages, but I really need to get one on the hook. So there we go. So that's my sort of latest project. I don't think there was anything else I wanted to say about that. And I've been working on something basically monogamously, can you believe it? And actually, even though we're still in the knitting section, I'm going to ask Barbara to come over. Barbara, do you want to come into the knitting section instead today? Thank you very much, Barbara. So this is my pavement sweater. On the last episode, I had done about 3 rows of the neck. It's a top-down sweater. And I've basically knitted the whole of the body. I've just got the arms to do. So it is a very easy, the body isn't shaped at all. So once you get to under the armpit, that's a nice straight knit up until this edge part. So this has actually got a sort of up and down hem, I don't know what you call it. So the side bit goes up a little bit. And then there's a garter stitch panel on the bottom. Now I've not blocked this yet, so it doesn't look very neat, I'm afraid. But I did do a few more rows of the garter stitch on the bottom than they actually had in the picture. So I won't talk about too much about what the instructions say, but I'll just say that it's slightly wider, this band at the bottom. I know quite a few people didn't do the short row section to make these front and back flaps, and I don't know whether it really adds to it that much really. I shall see when I actually start wearing it. So what I've done, so I should better tell you what yarn I've used. So the yarn is Fine Fish yarns in the Maven colourway, and I picked these up at the Fibre East last year, and I don't know whether you can see, but one, or I had 2 of this colour and 2 of this colour. This colour is slightly darker than this colour. So what I started with is I did the increase section where the raglan sleeve starts to here, to where I go to the underarm, in the solid, just solidly in this slightly darker colour. And then I thought, I'm just going to have to alternate skeins. I'm just going to have to do it because they're quite different. It's my own fault for picking them out of a different batch. I was just so excited, and actually I really like it that they're a slightly different colour, so it looks slightly stripy, if you can see. So I alternated skeins, and I think it was this side I alternated skeins, so you can see that it's slightly messier, but I think as I was going on down the side of the body I was getting neater at doing this, but I think when that blocks out that'll look okay. So once I got to the short row section, I still wanted to have these alternated skein stripes. So what I did is, because you were working on one side, I picked the centre point and actually did 2 rows, which is from the here to the side to the side to the centre, with one thread, with one yarn, and then I switched it on the next sort of set of this next round, if that makes sense. So I ended up with the yarn carried up the middle here. Now I don't think that's going to look too bad. It does look as if there's a slight dent in it at the moment, but I think with blocking that'll look okay. And I did the same to the back, because there are short rows on the back as well. I did the back first, so the back's slightly messier than the front, I think. There we go. This pavement sweater's got a really nice, there's some short rows on the back of the neck, so that it lies better on the back of your neck. So I don't quite know how it's going to sit exactly yet. I have tried it on, but I'll see how it lies properly when I've got the sleeves on as well. So I am becoming a fan of alternated skeins, which is good. I was a bit like, oh no, alternating skeins, but I didn't mind it, and I really don't know why I haven't cast this on before. I was thinking, oh no, it's not going to fit, I'm always sort of apprehensive about casting on garments, because I think I'm going to put all that work in and then it's not going to fit, but I have actually tried this on and it looks quite good, and I'm so pleased. I wasn't sure whether I was going to do some waist shaping on this, because it is supposed to be quite a sort of a relatively boxy, drapey top. But I thought, you know what, I'm just going to try it and see if I like it. And actually, I really like it without the waist shaping anyway, which means it's a much easier knit. And actually doing just knitting round and round and round went quite quickly. So I'm going to have to get some more garments on the needles. So I think that has come out much better than I expected. You can see that I've got the shoulder stitches on some scrap yarn there, which I'll be picking up this evening, I suspect. And I thought it would be much easier to show you when I haven't started the sleeve just yet, when I've just done the main body, because then Barbara can wear it. Aren't you lucky, Barbara? So I think that's all I've got to say about this top. But I am really enjoying it. It's so sort of intuitive and easy to sort of knit when you're chatting as well, especially when I was doing the bit where I was just knitting round and round and round, which is always good. So thank you so much, Barbara. Thanks, Barbara. Right, so what have we got next? I've been a bit naughty, and because I've been away for a weekend, I just didn't get a chance to actually finish sewing projects. I have been working on my bateen and my trousers, but a little bit on each, so there's not enough to really show you. So hopefully I'll get some more done by the next episode. But I am wearing a handmade thing. So this is my Agnes top by Tilly and the Buttons, and this fabric is what I picked up from a shop in Hemel Hempstead. I think I showed you the finished garment on the last episode, but I'm really pleased about this. It's a really nice fabric and it's got such a nice stretch in it, really pretty. So you can see those cute little butterflies. You can't go wrong with some butterflies. So that's my sewing, I'm afraid, just what I'm wearing, but I've got some cross stitch on this episode. So I've been working on the sampler that I've had. Actually, I've been sewing on this for ages, but I have done quite a bit since I last showed you. I think I've probably done this part here and all this here which doesn't look a lot, but it takes me quite a while to finish it. And I think I've started on this side as well. But I thought I'd keep you up to date. I've been doing a little bit every week, but not enough to really show you, so I thought I'd just keep you updated. So I've been using one of these plastic frames. So I've been using a smaller Q-snap before, but I picked this up at a charity shop, and it's not a Q-snap frame, but it's the same sort of design with the plastic bits that go over some plastic tube on the centre. And I just find this easier to do if I've got it on my frame, on my stand by the sofa that I can stitch on it. I can just leave it showing a larger area without having to remove the Q-snap frame too much. So I was pleased with that. I actually picked it up for £1, which was brilliant. So there we go. So I shall just give you a little idea of what it's supposed to be look like. So you can see I've done quite a bit. It's still going to take me a little while, maybe another year or so before I finish it. I have to wear my magnifying glasses so I can see the tiny little stitches, which to everybody else is probably not that small, but I can't see very well. Especially if I've been busy using my eyes all day sewing. So that's my cross stitch, and I have been busy doing some dyeing for myself, well, for Adam really. So on the last episode I showed you that I'd been knitting some Gryffindor socks for me, and Adam was saying I'd like some Slytherin socks because he's been sorted into the Slytherin house, and I dyed up this green and grey yarn especially for him to knit him some socks, but I haven't cast them on yet. I might have to cast them on at the weekend. So this one is going to be a micro-striping yarn, and it's a nice deep green and a sort of silvery grey. And the base I've used is my BFL base, which is 80% superwash BFL and 20% nylon, so they should work lovely for some socks. So that's it for my sort of crafting that I've got to show you. We're a bit low on the ground today, but I do have a blast from the past. Now I'm going to do my little bunny up here, so I better go and grab him. I could ruin the display. Hopefully he's not too dusty. So here we are, is my little bunny. I don't think I've done him before. I was looking around my craft room trying to work out things that I hadn't shown you before. So this little bunny is made from some calico. Has the main sort of fabric that his body's made in, and then I've used some fabric that goodness knows where it was from, but I had it for ages before I even used it. It's just gorgeous grey and blue to make his little dungarees, and you can see on the back he's got a little cross over there, how cute, and he's got a little hat, and the inside of his ears are sort of a turquoisey blue to try and contrast with some of his little dungarees. So this pattern was actually from a Tilda book, and it's from Springtime Crafting Springtime Gifts, sorry. And I shall show you the page of what it's supposed to look like, so you can get an idea of what the others. There we go. So he's lovely. I definitely want to make some more Tilda things. They're so cute to have on your craft room shelf. So that's my blast from the past. I'll pop him up on the shelf a bit later. So what have we got next? We've got gadget today. So the gadget is, I've buried it, is my scissor sharpener. So this is from Fiskars. So a lot of my scissors that I buy are from Fiskars. And I thought that I'd try using one of these scissor sharpeners. And this scissor sharpener apparently can be used on left and right-handed scissors, and what you do is you basically put your scissors into the holes and do this, and you know what, it really does work. I didn't believe that it would actually work before. So I can definitely recommend that. And these scissors I use a lot for applique and things, and they really need to be kept nice and sharp, and this has really helped because I use them a lot and they get blunt quite easily. So there we go, that's my blast. No, it's not, it's my gadget. And I think we go into the confession section now. Oh dear, I've been a bit naughty. So I went to visit my parents, and there is a beautiful fabric shop there called Watson and Thornton, and I plan to go because we don't always go on a day where I can actually visit on the Saturday when it's open, because it's not open on a Sunday. And I planned to get some t-shirt fabric because I need more short sleeve t-shirts, because I've made quite a few that are like this length, but now I need some really short sleeves. I thought that I might try and adapt this Agnes top into a shorter sleeve one, because when it's really warm I don't really want anything on my arms. So the theory was to buy small amounts of the jersey fabric so that I could make t-shirts with. Oh dear. So I bought this one. These have already been washed, so they're a bit crinkly, I'm afraid. So this one is a lovely lightweight jersey, which has got some nice stretch in it. It's a similar quality to this one, I think, but it's a different make. Let's see if I can show you where it's from. Sometimes they have, oh no, it doesn't have it printed on the selvage of this one, so but you might be able to contact that shop if you're interested in getting hold of some. So it's a nice red background with some blue and white flowers on there, and I thought that might look nice and bright for the summer. And then I saw the fishes. I had to have the fishes. Aren't they beautiful? Aren't they gorgeous? So this is a similar weight again, and I thought that that would be such a lovely summery t-shirt. It would be gorgeous. Although I probably look silly having fishes on me. I've been rolling my fabric up like this in the cupboard so that it doesn't crease as much. But of course, because I've washed it, it is quite creasy. I try and, with all my dressmaking fabric, I try and wash it and then put it in my stash so that when I want to just sew, I can do it ready. So I have got 3 plain jerseys that I bought. I might as well show you those at the same time. Let me just unroll them. So I've got a blue, a purple and a navy. Now this purple isn't coming up as bright on the screen, so that's much more of a rich purple colour, this one here. So those are going to be lovely. I thought that I would try the, I can't think what it's called, the t-shirt out of Tilly and the Buttons, and it's got a raglan sleeve. It's like a baseball t-shirt, and perhaps do some short sleeve versions of those with sort of different colours together. I thought that would be nice. And I saw in the remnants, I had to have this because it's lovely, but there's hardly any of it left. I think that's as much as there is. It's probably just over ½ a metre, I should think. And this is like a quilted, I don't know what it is, it's like a quilted jersey type of thing, so it's a bit stretchy. It's probably, I don't know whether you'd call it a Ponte Roma. It's got an interesting back to it as well, where the threads are threaded through the back of it. And it's very frayy, as you can see already. But again, it has been washed, so it isn't too bad. I probably should have overlocked it before I put it in the wash, but never mind. But I thought this might be nice to be like a panel on a top, just like the front and the back, and then the sleeves in a different material. And my idea is to try and get hold of a sort of mauve thick jersey, like the same sort of weight for the sleeves to go with this. I thought that would be quite nice. So there we go, that's my fabric. Because I was in Shrewsbury, I also popped into a yarn shop. I can't think what the yarn shop is called now. I will pop the title of the yarn shop that I went to in Shrewsbury. It's in the market, and the market is really nice. If you're ever in Shrewsbury, make sure you go to the market because it is lovely. They do so many nice different foods in there. It's quite posh. And I picked up these Jameson Smith colours from the yarn shop there. Because I wanted to do a Peary Fleurs mittens set to go with the hat that I've knitted, but I was going to do it so that I have the lovely coloured band around the wrist and then flowers here, but then a plain hand, so that there isn't too many flowers everywhere. I like I like the hat having flowers all the way around, but I thought it might be nice to have a plainer mitten, because sometimes things that are very ferile are a bit too busy for me, so I'm going to try that. I might change my mind when I've casted them on, but these 2 colours are the ones that they use the most in the Peary Flowers hat. I will pop a picture up here as well so you can know what I'm talking about if you haven't seen the hat that I knitted before or not. The pattern is by Kate Davies. Oh, we've got one more thing for confessions. I'd popped into Sheringham, into a charity shop, and I picked out this pincushion. And I have to show it you. Isn't that adorable? It's got some beautiful cross stitch on it, and it's this wooden base on it that I think that you're supposed to put bobbins in. They do fit. I'm going to grab past you. You can see where the bobbins would go around there for the sewing machine. So I'm so pleased I got that. It was only £2.50 as well for such a lovely piece of wood and for that really cute bit of cross stitch there. It is actually, if you look closely, it's slightly off centre, so I might attempt to undo it and centre it a little bit. And I've noticed as well, when you put the pins in, whatever they've put inside, it's quite a dense material, so I might swap it for something that's a little bit more squishy and more suitable for a pincushion. But I love it. Isn't that gorgeous? I was like, oh, how come that's still in the shop? Nobody's bought it. And I wonder how long it had been in there. It was amazing. So that's all my confessions. I've been quite good. Well, not really. At least my jersey fabrics were planned, because I definitely need some short sleeve t-shirts. All my handmade t-shirts are long, so I do have an excuse. And I shall reach round behind me to get some of the yarn that I've got for the shop update, which will be on Sunday the 3rd of June at 6 p.m. GMT. No, not GMT. British Summer Time, I should say. I'm sorry that my updates have been a little bit switching between Fridays and Sundays at the moment. It just depends whether I'm available to press the button to get everything published. So I've got one brand new colourway, and this one is called Grello Submarine. And it's like a yellow and different greys in there. And this was actually named by my friend Rob. And I dyed it up and I said, what shall I call it? And he said, Grello Submarine, almost straight away. So he's a genius. So there we go. So there's that new one. And I've got this on a few bases. This particular one is actually on my sparkle base, but sometimes it's difficult to see what it looks like on camera. And then I've got some of the older colourways. These two I actually showed on the last episode. This is Time After Time by the Cyndi Lauper song. And it's got some coral and yellow with some grey speckles in there. And this one is on a singles base, but I do have some other bases with it on. And this one is Crazy Little Thing Called Love. And this is on my sparkle base as well. But again, I've got this on a few bases if you want to check out the shop on the update day. And then I've got some of the older ones. So I've got Where the Wild Roses Grow. This is You Spin Me Round. I love this one. I think I might have to knit like a pavement sweater in this. This is got a nice grey with purple speckles on it. And this one is Coming Around Again, which is grey and then sort of a pale blue and a coral. And then this one is Rio with speckles of yellow and blue in. So there we go. So those will be in the shop update. There'll be multiple bases for each. I haven't actually got any new of my 75-25 merino nylon base because I ran out, but I've just been dyeing up all the other bases that I have. But I will have a new order in next week. So on the shop update, which is the 15th of June, which will be with the button jar kits, that'll have lots more different bases as well. I forgot to say actually, Grello Submarine is based on Yellow Submarine by the Beatles, and then there's grey in it, so Grello Submarine. So there we go. I think that's everything for this week. I think we're a bit of a shorter one this time, but I hope you still enjoyed watching, and hopefully I'll have lots of different things to show you next week. I have actually been working on some spinning, but I'm not going to take the bobbin off my spinning wheel until I've finished one of the bobbins. So hopefully I'll get that finished by the next episode so I can show you what it looks like. So I hope you have a lovely crafty couple of weeks until I see you next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you in a couple of weeks. Bye!